For climate change, if we want to actually solve the problem, we do need a whole societal approach. For us to have any chance to fix it, everyone in society needs to work together, and that the government is the first step.
We're at a critical point right now in terms of moving into a delivery phase, basically, that we have to act as opposed to analyse.
When the strike started, I was like, my whole world is open, like everyone is interested in this, I need to learn my stuff and we need to start now and make a difference.
People are worried about climate change and people are worried that more action does need to be taken. And that's the thing about climate change, there needs to be action.
It's very hard for us to do something because a lot of the times we feel like we're not being listened to.
You've got to keep challenging us, and young people more generally do, so that's an important point. How can we persuade more and more people to come with the campaign?
What I'm really keen is that we bring people with us, because there are people who are worried about climate action. As I said, losing their jobs, losing their businesses, a higher cost of living, and it doesn't have to be that way, because there are huge opportunities to create jobs.
I think kind of putting in infrastructure encourage kind of a sustainable and environmentally friendly method of going on.
There will be a transformation in terms of cycleways over the next while, and I think very substantial resources have been allocated both to the transport TII or to local authorities. What we in government want is people to move quickly in terms of translating the resources that we're now allocating to walking routes, to cycling routes, as fast as they possibly can.
If I had an electric bike, I could go into town every single day, no matter what time of the day, if I had the facilities and the safety to actually travel into town.
We haven't been radical enough in terms of public transport solutions for rural Ireland.
So the three of us, Aoife, Carol and myself, we've been involved in the implementation of the Youth Travel Card, which was announced as part of Budget 2022. So we are the National Executive of Comhairle and Nogue, so there's one member of the executive from each Comhairle around the country, and we were given a mandate at Dáil na Nogue in 2019 to find more climate conscious transport solutions. It can show what can be done when young people and the government work together.
We're in a climate crisis but also a biodiversity crisis. So I look forward to living in a country where nature is really strong, where biodiversity returns.
Just one example is renewable energy. We import a huge amount of oil and gas and coal from overseas, billions of euros going out of the country. If we build up a renewable energy industry and turn that excess wind into hydrogen, we can totally reverse that. And instead of spending billions of euros going out of the country, we can actually export energy and become a net exporter of energy, and there's jobs and revenue in that for us.
In 30 years' time, I think we will be able to switch that wind power we have, particularly in places like Mayo, into energy. And in that energy we have security, we have a strong economy, we have a livelihood for our people.
We need to grow more native trees everywhere, small sort of growth areas as well as forests. I think in the marine space we need to do more to protect the biodiversity there. So on that biodiversity front, on that health front, and connecting that into the climate agenda, I think we can marry them all. And as Eamon says, there's thousands of jobs awaiting us.
One thing that's important to say is that this is a huge challenge, but it is one we can overcome.
I think kind of listening and kind of taking in young people's voices in further policy making would be very important.
The more we broaden out the climate change agenda to encompass all aspects of life, the better buy-in we'll get from people.
It won't work if there isn't prosperity in this too. You know, there's employment and there's you're able to raise a family in a way that works.
For climate change, if we want to actually solve the problem, we do need a whole societal approach. And I think that the small incentives that the government can offer people that get them to make the small changes in their lives to be more climate conscious, that can add up and actually make a difference.
I'd consider myself quite hopeful with the situation we're in. Like in the last few years, our government's very much stepped up. It kind of brings hope to me, and I'm sure to a lot of young people, that action is not only being taken on a local level, but on a national level.
It's that sense of we can do this.